Hello, this is the second part of our Spinal Health Week. So this week we're going to be looking at the core muscles and what really helps stabilise our spine. Okay, so with that in mind, we're going to look at Navasana, boat pose, a very common pose that I certainly bring to a lot of our yoga practices. So when we set up on Navasana, we're having our feet flat on the mat, spine nice and long. So immediately, just by taking that spine back, we're really having to switch on the core and the back muscles. So when we talk about core, we want to think about a whole cylinder that runs from your lower diaphragm, so your pelvic floor muscles, all the way up to your respiratory diaphragm, so underneath your chest basically. So think of that big tube wrapping around the body. So just first exercise is to find your sit bones and lengthen through that spine, taking the arms away from the body. We're going to keep the feet just flat on the mat for a moment. Now, as we work here, the first engagement that we perhaps can feel are those big strap-like muscles that act like a big kind of wrapping around a bandage almost around your core. So those are your transverse abdominals. And they do a wonderful job. They're superficial, so they lie on the least deep muscles of the four muscles of our abdominals. But they do a wonderful job here of keeping us nice and stable. Now, as we're going to increase this exercise, we're going to start to take one leg off the mat. You might notice that actually you can start to feel some muscles slightly deeper down, perhaps in one side. So these are some of the deep muscles of the internal obliques, and these have a lovely, we can just swap the other side so you can be on the other side. These have a lovely job as well, because what they do, your internal obliques, is they run in an upward direction and they help stabilise and draw when you're drawing one knee to one shoulder. So in this instance, we are drawing one knee to one shoulder and we've got our internal obliques working. Okay, just relax before we move on to the next layer of muscle. So this time we're going to take it up a little. I'm going to see if we can get both legs up. And as we get both legs up, so we can feel those wrapping around of the transverse, the internal obliques working. And we're going to bring the palms together and take them over to one side of the body. So now we're coming to a twist and we're having to use our external obliques. So these muscles run and they cover the lower ribs, lower four ribs, and they help to twist in twisting actions such as this. Let's do it on the other side. Maybe you can feel the other one starting to engage. And then come back to centre. Lower the feet and maybe just take a couple of seated cat-cows just to release the spine. So the fourth muscle around our abdominals gets a lot of press, it gets a lot of credit, but actually it's probably the least interesting of the core muscles. And that's our rectus abdominis. So these ones run up and down, pretty much from your sternum to your pubis. So you've got a set of 8 muscles that run up and down here, or 8 parts to the same muscle. And that muscle really very simply allows the spine to flex in this direction. So when we are in our exercise here, in boat pose and Navasana, there's a little bit of flexion going on, but primarily we're working on the far more complex muscles of our transverse, internal and external obliques. Lovely. So I hope you enjoyed that little abdominal workout. Thank you very much.